Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to a brand new PSGL League Racing video on F1 24. This is round number 10 around Texas, as you can see. And we're gonna try and extend the championship lead once again. As you can see, 30 points ahead of Danny Bresnay and 33 points ahead of Tom Manley, heading into Circuit of the Americas. Round number 10, as you can see, Q1 here on our outlap, and yeah, just warming up the tires nicely before we start our lap. COTA, definitely one of the hardest tracks on the calendar. So many corners you can lose time, so many corners you can invalidate as well, especially on the F1 game, you know, where you have to take so much curves, you have to be on the absolute edge of track limits every single corner. On the entry, apex and exit, turn 1 is actually probably the least risky when it comes down to track limits. Through turn 2 we go flat out, of course, and then this whole section is pretty much flat out on F1 23. You can see down to 6th gear we keep it flat all the way, and then it's just like a 50% lift for that left-hander, and then yeah, that uphill left again flat out. So yeah, not the hardest sector anymore. Definitely the last sector is the hardest one. Sector 2 only really being like 3 corners, especially with the uphill left being flat out now. And then yeah, these are 2 very hard braking zones. Easy to lose a lot of time as well, easy to brake slightly too late. But yeah, into the final sector we're gonna go. It's a 1.6 as we head into the final sector. Otis Lawrence on provisional P1. This is only Q1, of course, so yeah, we don't necessarily have to be fighting for P1, but that is the aim, of course, because then we can save a set of tires for the rest of the qualifying, for Q3, if we make it into Q3. Really on the edge there in the second last corner. Into the final corner we're gonna go. That final corner was not great, but up to the line it's a 130.177, and that's no ideal. I think that at the time was like 3/10 off P1, and 3/10 is the difference between P17 and P1, as you can see. So we're gonna have to improve on this one, that's for sure, because otherwise we're definitely gonna be out in Q1 here. Yeah, it looks like we don't quite have the pace at the moment. I remember practicing for this, I didn't have the pace in general, relative to my teammates. So I think I kind of went a different direction with setup and just put on the setup that Freddy was using, as he was up to pace. And you can see we're 110 up. Yeah, I just wasn't quite comfortable with that setup. So that's why we just really had to push hard in order to make up any time. A little bit of hesitation on the exit, as I felt like the rear was getting light and I couldn't quite get the power on. But we're still 800s up though. It wasn't really a loss. But we're gonna need slightly more than 800s, I think. So we're gonna need 1.5 tenths to dive into the 129s. Into the final sector we're gonna go. And yeah, again, a lot of understeer on the entry. Couldn't get the front end to turn in. And that is crucial to carry speed in these low speed corners. We have gained more though, and we're 1.4 tenths up as we head into the second last corner. Here we can gain a lot of time, especially in that final corner. There's a lot of time, unfortunately. I've invalidated, and the last corner was not great again anyway. Yeah, it was not enough anyway to make it into Q2, I think so. But yeah, we were like 3/10 off in that last lap as well. And yeah, I think would have not made it. Even if we got that last corner right, perhaps it would have been close. But yeah, starting P20 here. Quite the opposite from the last 2 rounds, where we had great qualifying pace, but just didn't quite click thus far in COTA on this game. But yeah, as you can see, onto the race now. It is intermediate conditions. And yeah, quite used to wet conditions from the Ironman League, but haven't really massively practiced it, as there's a huge crash in turn 2, and that has already gained us 2 positions front wing damage for one of our championship rivals, Tom Manley, right there. And he's dropped out of the top 10 straight away. So that's good for a championship. Very unfortunate for him. I think, yeah, he's been in rather unfortunate incidents in the past few races anyway. Of course, Vegas, where we got a massive switchback. I think he was involved in that pile-up as well. So up to P18 we go. Decent start. Brendan Lee going wide up front. He is one of our championship rivals as well. Danny Bresnay in second though. He's our main concern, even though we are 33 points ahead. I already forgot. But 30 points ahead. And there's 3 races to go in the championship. So we can win the championship today. But yeah, would have to go a little bit crazy. I think we would have needed like pole position, fastest lap in the race, and a race win with Danny having no points. So that is really unlikely, especially considering we're driving in P18 at the moment. And yeah, we didn't have pace at all in qualifying. So yeah, it's been an interesting PSGL season so far, with just pace being inconsistent. But it's not just for me, it's for a lot of other people as well. As we go down the inside of Jake, who's run a little bit wide, can't quite get the power down though, but we got lots of ERS to play with, so I'm definitely gonna go for the move later on in the straight. I was thinking about going for a move down the inside, thought better of it, and now we go down the inside again of Jake, who goes a little bit wide into the left-hander. And now this is the outside for the right-hander, but that's going to turn to the inside for this next left-hander. Jake squeezes it onto the curb a little bit. I have to be careful not to run into the back of Joni Tomala. Now we have moved up to P17. 3 positions gained. Decent start so far. We just need to keep gaining positions, otherwise the top 5 is going to run away with this race. And that's not what we want. We want this to stay as close as possible. You know, in case other people make strategic mistakes. So yeah, let's see what we can do in the next few laps. Lap 18, or lap 8, sorry. Lap 18. We're not that far yet. Lap 8, still in P17, so we haven't quite managed to get past people. And you can see there, I had to lift and coast, as I had gone too low on fuel for this race. Yeah, bit of a weird one. I think I went with more or less my dry fuel, but for some reason in the wet you use a lot of fuel in this game. Anyway, Joni Tomala and Nicolas Longue battling wheel to wheel. Nicolas really lagging, as you can see there. Nearly taking out Joni. Absolute McDonald's Wi-Fi from Nicolas. Which makes it a little bit tricky to do anything, because really easy to get into an incident if he is lagging around like that. So we're gonna go for the move into turn number 1 down the inside, and yeah, we get the move done. We get side by side on the exit, but yeah, we get a little bit of a tap from Nicolas lagging, and we have to be careful here. Yeah, that was scary. You can't really hear my microphone too well in the game now, but you can still hear the upshifts. I've seen again a lot of comments about the microphone. I know, guys, I've said this before, I was not going to change my microphone as long as I was driving from Team Redline, because yeah, otherwise I have to set up another microphone again just for a few weeks at Team Redline. I am gonna set it up right now when I've moved into my new house, but yeah, there is gonna be another 2 races where it's gonna be like this. So yeah, I know the microphone was bad, but nothing I can change about it anymore, because these races have already happened. Anyway, we're still battling side by side with Nicolas in the final sector here. We've been going side by side for like the entire lap. And still haven't managed to get past. We're losing a lot of time with this though. And now again, this is gonna be scary. No grip on the outside there. Kind of the opposite of real life, where if you go over the rubber line, you have a lot more grip. Doesn't quite work like that, unfortunately. In the game, it's the opposite. So you have to stick to the racing line, basically. And now I was thinking about a move into turn 1 again. And we're gonna send it from a long way back, break all the way on the inside, and we get the move done somehow. By sliding a lot, we stopped the car. And up to P16 we go. Absolute send and a half. And now we've got Nicolas Longue behind us again. I thought he was maybe gonna go for a move there on the inside. As unfortunately, he nearly tapped us around with the lag. And yeah, now we are right behind Thomas Gall. We have been making quite decent inroads to most people, but you can see in the bottom left, the top 5-ish are getting away. And ahead of Brendan, there's a big gap as well. So yeah, let's see what we can do here in the next few laps. We need to get past these guys ahead of us ASAP. Thomas Gall already boxing. I'm not sure if he perhaps had front wing damage. But that is an early pit stop. And yeah, we're just gonna continue here for the next few laps. So we're just gonna go long and see if we can do something later on. Nicolas using the battery once again, and he didn't want to battle again because our pace was not too shabby at this point. We got Joni Tormola and...
Stop hitting!
Brendan and Joni going side by side. With a little tap from Nico behind again. I don't think he's even noticing it, but it's just because he was lagging up and down quite a little bit. Yeah, that was just pushing us forward and just making us miss our apexes a little bit, which was frustrating because it was losing us time. And he's still quite low on battery here. At the end of lap 12, we've been struggling with battery quite a bit so far as we've been hit again. Yeah, it's just costing us time, unfortunately. Anyway, on to lap 13, and now we need to try and go for a move on Brandon Lee. On the next one, you can see Brendan has moved straight on. And again, that's ruined an opportunity on going for a move on Brendan. Or at least making the move a lot easier. Now we've had to use a lot of our battery again. However, you can see Brendan has some front wing damage on that front left end plate, and that's helping us here, because that's why he went straight on as well in that hairpin, because he just has no front downforce while braking. You just need that front end to bite, especially when you hit the brakes. You don't want to move straight on. As we get Brendan down or inside, not really attacking us, but attacking us to defend from Nicolas behind. And now we're behind Joni Tormola again. Up to P9 we go, lap 14, and yeah, we're just gonna stay out one more again. We got Alfie Butcher coming into the pits. I haven't seen him in a while in league racing. He took a big break on F124, but yeah, I think he got pole position or close to pole position here. And now, yeah, you can see we're already pit stop behind. With all that battling, we've lost so much time. Perhaps our wet pace was not too great either, but yeah, we're also on a different strategy. We are on a boxing a little later strategy. Because tire wear is quite high, I didn't want to box too early and have a risk of puncture. So yeah, we're gonna get passed by a few people here that have already made a pit stop. We're a pit stop behind. I think Lucas boxed at the end of lap 12, so he did box quite a bit earlier. And around this track, if you go for an undercut, that gains you a lot of time as well. We got Alfie Butcher behind us now. He boxed slightly later than Lucas Blakely is. Lucas Blakely is new teammate, by the way. So they're, I think, in a net P1, P2 at the moment. And now we got Alfie right behind us on a new set of tires. We're not fighting this because there's no point. We are not fighting them at the moment unless something happens. Unless the tires drop off really bad towards the end, then we can maybe come back. But I very much doubt that. I think if we can get points this race, that would be good. Yeah, or wet pace, nothing special. I don't think it's really bad, but yeah, it's definitely not special. And now at the end of lap 17, we're getting passed by Otis. Again, we're not defending this. We got Danny Bresnay behind us. That's our championship rival. But yeah, I think I I'm gonna box at the end of this lap because we're just starting to lose more and more time now. 11 laps to the end. We should be able to easily make it to the end on this set of tires. We could have sabotaged Danny a little bit, but I feel like, or I felt like at the time, you know, it's no point. Not how we want to win this championship with 3 races to go. And into the pits we go. Onto a new set of the intermediates. Took quite a while for my car to be released. I don't know why. But out we come pretty much in last place. We're just ahead of Brendan. Who I think changed his front wing. But obviously we do have the freshest tires on the grid. As I go into turn number 1. Couldn't quite get those cold tires around the hairpin. And yeah, Johnny Tomola 4.5 seconds ahead. He boxed, I think, 2 laps earlier than us. And yeah, that's the undercut. 2.5 seconds per lap he got on us. Alvaro Carreton is lagging really badly there. And that's going to be another position gained for us into turn 1. As he's still AI, as you can see. So yeah, with the help of some battery. I think he just moved out of AI, but yeah, not sure what happened to him there. Up to P15 we go. And we got quite a mountain to climb. 9 laps to go. And we're still so far away from points. And yeah, nothing happened in all those laps. You can see I had to lift and coast a lot. Nicolas Longue behind us. He boxed even later than us. But yeah, I had to lift and coast there. Because I didn't have enough fuel on board. This race has been an absolute nightmare. Not enough fuel. Pace was bang on average. I decided to let Nicolas go there because I had to save fuel. I had to lift and coast. But yeah, terrible qualifying. Wet pace was bang on average. I think, you know, actually below average.
Nice
but yeah.
Very lovely drive. On to the next one.
I guess that's part of it as well. I think there has not been a single person that's been flawless this PSGL season. There's not been a single person that, as Thomas Gall gets a puncture, I think so, in the final few corners. So up to P13 we go. But I don't think there's been a single person that's been flawless. I think almost every single driver on this grid has at some point gone out in Q1 or Q2. Or it has had bad pace at some point. It's just, you know, a weird game. It's so unnatural that, yeah, from one track to the other, you can dominate or go out in Q1. So
we didn't quite hit the objectives we set, but we'll live to fight another day.
No points for us today around Dakota. We actually got driver for today. Thank you very much. Did we deserve it? No. This was our worst race in F1 24. And I hope it's gonna stay that way, because I do not like to be slow. So next time out, we're gonna try and be a lot faster. Alfie Butcher wins the race. Danny Beresne, crucially, only in P8. And that's only gonna gain him like 3 points. PSGL point system being different, of course. So once again, damage limitation, because the others didn't score the points that they could have. You know, Brendan out of the points. Danny only P8. Tom with did not finish after that opening lap incident. So the championship is moving closer, even though we only finished P13. I hope you guys enjoyed. Actually, I hope you guys didn't enjoy it, because it was a terrible race. Make sure to check out joinopen.com for my merchandise and sim racing gloves. And see you guys next time. Ciao.